got you covered. This is News 4 Tucson, live at 10.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Aalia, Shaheed. Today is National Wreaths Across America Day. Fallen service members were honored across the country, including right here in Tucson.
In my opinion, our heroes should never be forgotten.
Every year on the second Saturday of December, Tucsonans gather to lay wreaths on the graves of our fallen servicemen and women.
During the Christmas time, holiday times are the hardest on families, and we want to give back to those families to say thank you for everything that the families have done, for what our fallen heroes have done.
The East Tucson Cadet Squadron number 229 Civil Air Patrol conducted Saturday's ceremony at South Lawn Cemetery. Volunteers of all ages helping to place wreaths and flags.
It was very special. I felt I was doing something very good.
There are about 6,000 veterans buried in the cemetery, and organizers say their goal is to get wreaths on each of their graves. But at $15 each, they need the community's help to get there.
Every single veteran here deserves a wreath and an American flag, and I will not stop until it happens. We need donations from Tucson.
Not only does it help raise funds to buy the wreaths, it also helps Civil Air Patrol, my squadron, in giving back money for our cadets. So it's a win-win situation.
And you can find information on how to donate at cap229.org. Switching gears, wheelchair-bound residents at the local Arizona State Veterans Home will now be riding in comfort thanks to a generous donation. The American Legion Post 132 riders donated an 8-passenger golf cart modified to accommodate a wheelchair. Until now, wheelchair-bound veterans had to be pushed in their chairs throughout the VA campus, even in bad weather. The chapter says they're proud to make this donation.
A lot of vets have been pretty much taken for granted and not much being done. So through organizations like ours, we're able to pay them back and give back and show them how important they are when other places just don't. We're very, very proud to do this, and we're very, very honored to be able to do this.
The Arizona State Veterans Home gives care to chronically ill veterans and dependent or surviving spouses. Residents have served in Vietnam, Korea, and World War II. In northern Arizona, a body has been found among plane wreckage believed to be a couple days old. Yavapai County officials say a rancher reported finding wreckage from a plane yesterday. Deputies confirmed the findings and called out rescue teams to search the area. No additional bodies were found. Deputies say the aircraft was a fixed-wing single-engine type. The remains found at the site have not yet been identified. Arizona Game and Fish is offering a $1,500 reward for information leading to the arrest of a poacher. In late October, officials say a dead buck was left for waste east of Road 235A on the Kaibab Plateau. At the time the poaching occurred, there were active hunts and many hunters were actively scouting. Game and Fish believes someone may have seen something. If you have any information, you can call the Operation Game Thief hotline at 800-352-0700 or visit their website. A big project kicking off next week at the Port of Entry in Douglas. Starting Monday, crews will begin replacing 7 primary inspection booths and 2 commercial truck booths at the Raul Hector Castro Port of Entry. The port's cargo dock and exit booths will also be replaced, and a pedestrian turnstile will be installed. There will be signs directing traffic. That project set to wrap up in May. And new developments in the murder of an 18-year-old Barnard College student. A 13-year-old has been charged in connection with the stabbing of Tessa Majors, a college freshman from Virginia. Detectives say just before 7 p.m. on Wednesday, a group of teens put Majors in a chokehold and removed items from her pockets. Police say the college freshman fought back during the robbery. At this point in the case, the juvenile is not being charged as an adult. Law enforcement sources say police question a 14-year-old as well, but they have not been charged. The Big Easy is in a state of emergency right now. The city of New Orleans under siege by cyber criminals hacking into government computers. And it's not the first time either. Philip Mena has our story.
Tonight, the city of New Orleans crippled after a cyber attack. Websites down. Phones unanswered. The mayor declaring a state of emergency as local and federal officials work to figure out who's behind the hack and how much damage has been done. Hackers gained access to government systems on Friday morning. City Hall telling employees to power down and unplug their computers immediately.
The forensic investigation is still in progress, so there's much that we are still to learn about this attack, the mechanisms, and what was significantly compromised.
Officials say emergency operations have not been impacted and are communicating via Twitter. This is the third cyber attack in Louisiana this year. In July, several school systems were infected by malware. And just last month, a ransomware attack held state data hostage. Hackers demanded the government pay up. Louisiana's policy is not to pay ransom. Instead, officials wiped hard drives.
They will look for the sitting ducks and pursue them aggressively in order to get these ransoms.
There have been more than 100 attacks targeting state and local governments this year alone. Maryland, Florida, and Texas were among those hit the hardest. States that refuse to pay ransom may still end up paying.
They spend millions upon millions of dollars trying to clean their systems of this malware. But oftentimes paying the ransom, and unfortunately so, can be cheaper than taking these remedial measures.
A big week ahead in Washington, D.C. President Trump, on the brink of impeachment, is considering his defense options and trying to get at least one House Democrat to switch sides ahead of the upcoming vote. Hans Nichols reports.
The president tossing the coin at the Army-Navy game as he prepares for his own impeachment battle ahead in the Senate, comparing himself to Brett Kavanaugh during his contentious Supreme Court nomination. After watching the disgraceful way that a wonderful man, Brett Kavanaugh, was treated by the Democrats, I understand why so many Dems are voting Republican. But ahead of next week's House vote, a possible Democratic defection.
There is nothing that has turned up that truly is impeachable.
The New Jersey Democrat reportedly feeling the heat from the president. A Democratic official telling NBC News they expect Van Drew to leave the party. But even with his anticipated no vote, impeachment on track for a trial in the Senate. Trump aides downplaying reports that White House counsel Pat Cipollone will lead the president's Senate defense.
The president may have a number of attorneys helping him.
As the president's Senate allies advocate for a short trial without calling the Bidens to testify.
I want to end it. I don't want to legitimize it. I hate what they're doing.
And Graham is also open to hearing directly from Rudy Giuliani, who met with the president yesterday after returning from Ukraine, but outside the impeachment process.
Hey, Rudy, if you want to come and tell us what you found, I'd be glad to talk to you.
Even as some of Trump's congressional allies question Giuliani's trip.
I didn't really know why Rudy was in the Ukraine.
Well, good evening to you at home. Thank you so much for joining us a little bit earlier this evening. Usually we're on, of course, at 10 o'clock, but tonight we are on at 9. So thank you so much for tuning in. Right now in Tucson, we are cooling down, 56 degrees. The winds are very calm, coming out of the southeast, only 3 miles an hour. That dew point is increasing, though. Current temperatures across southern Arizona. Good evening to you in Nogales, 58 degrees, 51 in Sassabee, 56 in Douglas, 40s in Wilcox. But Phoenix is still in the 60s. Here's a live look at our satellite radar. As you can see, dry conditions, but to the north of us, we do have some cloud coverage. There is this cold front that is heading our direction. We're not going to see any snow or any rain, but we will see some cooler temperatures. We'll talk about that in a second, but first, let me get you started with tomorrow's forecast if you have any plans. The sunshine going to be absolutely beautiful for that. So if you do have some outdoor plans, 67 degrees for the high in Tucson. Now, I did mention that there is a cold front on the way. When we come back in a little bit for the main forecast, we'll talk about how cold it's going to get. And yeah, it's going to get pretty chilly. You're definitely going to need that jacket. We'll chat in just a little bit. Aaliyah?
All right, thanks, Allie. The 70th annual Winter Haven Festival of Lights starts tonight. It's free to attend, but the Community Food Bank is asking for your help with food and cash donations. The festival runs from 6 to 10 each night until December 29th, which is also drive-through night. Donations can be dropped off at the Fort Lowell Country Club or Prince Road entrances. The food bank hopes to collect 60,000 pounds of food this year and surpass last year's total. Most needed items are cereal, canned foods, as well as beans, rice, and pasta. And News 4 Tucson is working to spread some holiday cheer with our 11th annual Season for Hope live drives. We need your help to make sure we can share some smiles this holiday season. We're collecting new unwrapped toys for Toys for Tots, food for the Community Food Bank of Southern Arizona, and clothing for Goodwill. Our next live drive will be December 16th at Tucson Fire Department Station number 20. That's located on 1st Avenue south of River Road. And we will be live there from 4 to 6:30 p.m. And we're also collecting donations at our News 4 Tucson studios located near Oracle and Elm. You can drop them off during our regular business hours, 8 a.m. until 5 p.m. For more information, head to kvoa.com. Coming up on News 4 Tucson Live at 10, the 4th Avenue Winter Street Fair has arrived. What you can expect. Plus, the Pima Animal Care Center wants to make sure your pet is ready for New Year's. Details when we come back.
We've got you covered. This is News 4 Tucson.